Okay, so this discussion is regarding the veiling of women in Islam, and the reasons why women in Islam cover up and the implications it has on their lives and just their general opinions on the rulings, etc. So can you just tell us a little bit about how you started to get into wearing the hijab and the jilbab, which is the covering of the body and the head?
Yeah, that's fine. I first began practicing Islam a few years ago, and at this point I didn't used to wear the hijab. My family are not very practicing themselves, so hijab was never something that was really encouraged, nor was it discouraged. So I was in my final year of university in London, and I started to pray regularly. After this, I started to read up more on Islam and my obligations as a Muslim, and realised that my dress is very important in Islam and how I'm portrayed to other people. So this made me start reading up on hijab, and I personally believe the correct hijab is wearing covering your head, all of your hair, and your neck, and all of your body as much as you can. I first put the hijab on in my final year of university, but at this point I didn't really read up on the abaya, and recently, actually just a few weeks ago, I decided to put the abaya on after realizing that I wasn't fulfilling my obligation as a Muslim woman. The experience that I have felt since wearing the hijab and the abaya has actually been really good and really positive. I feel I've had no problems, nor have I been discriminated against whilst wearing this clothing. When I put the abaya on a few weeks ago, I had a lot of people ask me and actually ask me more about Islam than when I didn't wear it. I have a lot of non-Muslim colleagues who noticed the change in my dress sense and asked me. When I told them that it's an obligation, and I told them to look around in society and look at how women are portrayed, and I don't want to be one of those women, and I want to be judged based on my intellect and my abilities and my character and not the way I dress. They seemed to really understand it, and they told me that they highly respected my views and the fact that I try to follow Islam in every aspect of my life, including my dress sense.
So you've never really come across any challenges, like personal challenges, because I don't know, maybe you felt like, oh, you want to go back to wearing, your clothes and being in the fashion trends, etc. Have you coped with it on that side of things, or has it been an easy ride for you in that sense?
Alhamdulillah, I think because when I decided to wear the abaya and hijab, I felt a real connection with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And so I was completely, I don't know how to explain it in terms of I was separated from the society.
Okay.
I separated myself, and I just thought to myself, why am I doing this? Am I doing this to please other people? Am I doing it to please Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? And I was doing it to please Allah. So I have so far, I've honestly, I'm telling the truth, I've had no desire to think, actually I want to wear those clothes, or
yeah.
I wish I could have my hair out again. No, because I know I'd rather do something that pleases my Lord, the one who created me, than please other people or even please myself.
Yeah. So do you feel it kind of hinders you from doing any of your duties, like maybe studying or at work? Do you feel like it's had any kind of had any effect on that side of your life?
No, I don't. I generally try to adhere to Islamic rulings on other aspects of life as well, like free mixing, going out into certain places. I try to restrict myself. If anything, I feel that wearing this makes me realise that I'm representing Islam. Even my non-Muslim colleagues have told me that they prefer it when people who wear the hijab and abaya act like true Muslims, because at the end of the day, whether we like it or not, we are representing this religion.
Yeah.
So we should be careful when we're doing our actions, knowing that people think, okay, that's a Muslim, or the Muslim's drinking, that's wrong. So I personally haven't felt any problems like with people treating me differently or interacting in society or nothing. I think it's, if you're kind to other people and you try your hardest to still integrate within society, the majority will try their hardest with you as well, and that's what I've personally experienced. I've had one bad experience wearing my abaya, and that was with the EDL.
Oh, with the EDL, what happened there?
I was with my mum at in London, Paddington Station.
Yeah.
And the EDL were behind us, members of the EDL. We didn't realise this. I just thought they were people who had just come from a football match or something, because they had England T-shirts.
Yeah.
And they had the English flag on it. I didn't pay much attention at this point. Then they started to chant, and they started to chant that all Muslims are scum,
Yeah.
and they want us to get out of this country, and they're not going to surrender to the Taliban. And they looked at us and they said Muslims are scum. So I knew that it was directed at me and my mum because we were the only people there
Yeah.
who looked like they were Muslim.
Yeah.
And
How did that make you feel?
that actually made me quite upset, to be honest. Maybe because it was my first bad experience as well. Because we weren't doing anything to harm anyone. We were just trying to travel from one place to another.
Yeah.
And it was a bit of a shock, to be honest.
Yeah.
But it did make it better that a girl came up to me afterwards telling me she's Christian and British,
Yeah.
and that she felt she was so disgusted with what they did, and she actually apologised to me on their behalf.
Yeah. Oh.
So that made me feel a bit better. That there's a few people, there's a minority that will treat you like that, but the majority will not.
Okay, so overall, it seems like you've had a good experience in taking on the Islamic way to dress, etc., and it's something that's become part of your life now.
Yes.
Brilliant. Okay, thank you for that insight.
That's okay.